All right, Matthew. So I know a little bit about your story, and it's crazy, but I don't know all of it. I think it's a really good testimony. So I guess let's start at the beginning. So you grew up in church, correct? Your
Yeah,
dad
yeah,
was a pastor
yeah, yeah, ma'am.
at a church. So tell me about little Matthew.
I grew up in church all of my life. When I was just another baby, my mom, my grandma, my dad, they kept me in the church. I was just another, good boy there. I got where I could walk and everything like that. I was doing the church in the choir, singing, hang out with friends and everything like that. Then I started, when I got in probably about, junior high, I started, well, let me back up. When I was in kindergarten, I had my tonsure, my idol taken out, uh, you know, out. And not when
Mhm.
my feet impediment started.
Okay,
Then
kindergarten.
yeah, in kindergarten. I was A on the road student. I was on the
Mhm.
spelling bee. I was on everything. Then
Mhm.
when when all that come about, I had um I had a stroke in the middle of that time, and not really got what really my feet impediment really got worse and everything like that. I lost all of my memory, couldn't read.
You had a stroke in elementary school?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then I got better over time. I was in P class and couldn't comprehend, and they put me in face to head classes. I really didn't want to be in a class. I want to
Mhm.
be with the regular student
Mhm.
because I couldn't learn like they did.
Mhm.
They put me in those classes, and I done good. I done good the whole time. Um, play football in junior high and
Mhm.
everything like that. We're doing good. I never get. I guess I made my I got my first L when I was in high school.
You did your first what?
F,
Oh, F. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and because when after the old time when they put me into the regular class in high school, I could comprehend a little bit, but I really couldn't comprehend at all. And
Okay.
got why they I really didn't understand, comprehend, whatever like that. But
Okay.
when I graduated with a two like a like I went all the way knew what I was saying and stuff like that. I knew what I was saying, but I guess I graduated probably 15 in my class. You know, I
Mhm.
took the SAT and I really did. I done pretty good on the SAT. I don't know what I did it,
Mhm.
but I done good. But I think after I got out of high school, graduated, my granddaddy died in 2000.
He
Before
died out?
he got in a car wreck,
Okay.
and when my granddaddy died, got really everything really just started. I started drinking and everything like that because before my granddaddy died, I got baptized. He didn't want baptized before he died.
Okay. So you got baptized right out of high school, or were you in high school?
I was I was not right. I was in a not good when I got baptized.
Okay. Okay. So you were a Christian. You were a
Yeah,
Bible believe Jesus believing Christian.
yeah.
Okay.
And and I knew God, and I knew the stuff I was doing was wrong, but I still done it anyway.
Yeah, right. Hmm.
Then my granddaddy died. Then my grandmama. I want to say I got in 2004. Yeah, 2004, and that was a bit lost too. And I really, really started dabbing more into the drinking and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
just to cope. But in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of my granddaddy and my grandmama dying, I had a lot of family members die in that time. In that
Okay.
time frame. But it really didn't. I would go out. I would go out to the club. I would do the party knife. I was one of those
Yeah. Yeah.
go lay back. I would go to the strip club because I want to have fun. I
Yeah.
wanted to do, give a stuff and stuff like that. Then, what really happened was in the same year when my granddaddy died, I found out my mama had cancer
Okay.
in 2000. Yeah, in 2000, and that really put me a little bit off on the edge because I'm like, no, my mama, I love her. I didn't want it to happen and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. Yeah, I started drinking, but the old time I was drinking, I was doing some weed. I never just thought mama knew I was doing weed, but I was doing weed. I got my first stars. I got my first view high when I I want to say it was in 2005.
Okay.
Um, you
So how
know,
old were you then?
in 2005, I was probably about 22, 24.
Okay. So all of this is like after high school,
Yeah,
early 20s. Okay.
yeah. But I really didn't start doing the judge till I started when I was about 30, 34, 35 right in that time.
Okay. So it lasted a long time, like
Yeah.
10 plus years.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 plus years with
Mm-hmm.
just drinking alcohol, fucking weed, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when my mom got in 2015, got rid of my old wood that went upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I started drinking more.
Mm-hmm.
Experimented with on crack, heroin, meth, all of that. I had my
Mm-hmm.
own place. I was living good, doing good, working and everything. But the judge just cut my life over because I didn't want to. I didn't know how to cope
Yeah.
with mom being gone.
Yeah.
And I started getting more, going to jail more,
Mm-hmm.
getting the DI for pain pills I had on me were mine. But
Mm-hmm.
but in 2015 would have the downfall because I was really doing crack and I was
Okay.
really taking cold of me. I lost my job because I go to work, I leave work.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my hour, I was never in my car. My family didn't
Okay.
want nothing to do with me because I was after. No, I
Yeah.
was telling people about people in my family
Mm-hmm.
just to get money to go get my high, go get my feet, whatever like
Mm-hmm.
that.
So you think like you were addicted to crack at this
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I just thought your drug of choice was alcohol. So I
Well,
didn't
yeah,
know both.
yeah, both. Because when I stopped doing the alcohol, I was still doing
Mm-hmm.
drinking, but I was doing crack. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that well, I was doing more the hair duster, what they
Oh,
call the
yeah.
whip, what they do in the whip it. I would do 40 cans of that every day.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I mean,
So you
I would
were doing
just do
basically anything. Yeah.
yeah anything I can. I mean, I've been to Walmart to
Mm-hmm.
steal the stuff, tip
Mm-hmm.
along to get what I need to get. It didn't matter what it was. I done it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
do I regret it? I do regret it, but I don't regret it because
Mm-hmm.
made me the man I am now.
Right.
Um, then after I OD'd and stuff like that, and my pastor, people at my church and my brother and them said, if you don't go to rehab, we done with you.
So what
And
did you OD on?
I'm OD on crack, meth,
Wow.
uh, all of it.
Okay. And when was this?
This was right before 2019. It was right in the middle of
Okay.
16 and 19 because 19 I left to go to the family in Bessemer.
Okay. Okay.
And after I went to the hospital and went to church, I didn't want to go to church because I was not get that I had guilt thing. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like everybody was gonna judge me about what I was doing and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like they didn't. They come pray for me at the altar. I was crying and
Mhm. Oh.
they've been with me the whole time. You know, I'm like, well, I can't get forgiven for this because if I had to die right then, I know I would be hell. You know, I would be going to hell.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I was lucky that Spinal Point and Scottsboro, the church I went to, got me into rehab because now I'm a lot better now. You know, I'm
Hmm.
working, going to celebrate recovery on Friday night, going to church on Sunday, and everything like that. I mean,
Yeah. Wow. So you OD'd, right? And
yes.
then you went to the hospital, and then after the hospital, you went to church or you went
Yeah,
to
because
rehab.
when I went to the hospital and got out of the hospital, I was trying to go back out and get some more dope
Okay. Hmm.
for like Sunday morning because I knew it, because they knew if I had got dope before, I know if I had went to church and was gonna go after, I would never got any more. But I
Yeah.
get out no money, I get out nothing, and nobody would give me no money. I couldn't get no dope.
Yeah, right. So were you
Then my
mad?
phone, yeah, I was real mad.
Yeah, I'm mad.
But I'm happy at the same time that my phone got cut off because if my phone got cut off, I would be probably dead. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know, God do everything for a reason, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that He saved my life. I met great people. Since I've
Yeah.
been gone away from home, doing good, working, and
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
really blessed. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
but especially going on deep at the end of the month on the 17th, well, it will be the 25th. I probably be getting my 5 year, but it's gonna be on Friday on the 27th. I get my 5 year tip.
Okay. All right. How's
Yeah.
that feel?
It feel amazing. I come to
Yeah.
a lot. You know, I'm going into the jails. I went to the jail yesterday night, and we had 3 salvation because I gave my testimony. You know,
Yeah.
that wasn't nobody except for God. And it was just not
Yeah.
amazing how God could use me for being broken to save
Hmm.
for life. I mean, you just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I think about Paul. I recently learned a lot about Paul, the life of Paul in the Bible.
Yeah,
And he was a murderer who persecuted Christians.
yeah,
And on his journey, God stopped him. Jesus stopped him and said, "This is me. I am Jesus. I am real." And he turned his life around and started doing the complete opposite. And so I think it's so amazing. And that's why I wanted to do this, is because people's testimonies are so powerful. They bring people to Christ, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like you said, you were scared going back into church because you thought people were going to be mean or rude or persecute you. Um, and thankfully, that it was the complete opposite, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I just think it's so amazing that God chooses people like us, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
chooses the broken, he chooses the lowly to um, raise them up and share the gospel and
yeah,
share, like, if he could change you, he could change anybody, right?
yeah. Because I was thinking when you just talking about in the Bible, I compare myself in the Bible. I pay myself like a Protestant son. When a
Yeah.
Protestant son left
Hmm.
home, it wanted to take everything he had
Hmm.
and part of everything out and come to the attention that it was in a pig pen. But then it come out and it thought in that, well, my father, I just go back and just be a servant instead of being one of his sons.
Hmm.
And that's the thing right with me.
Yeah.
I want a God's son. I'd rather be be somebody that God can use, what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful story too. And yeah, I would say that's most similar to your situation is you were raised up in the church, right? And the
Yeah,
Bible tells us that if you raise a child up, they will not depart from it. So although you did depart from it for over 10 years, you came back to it, right?
yeah,
And yeah, I think that's so amazing. And that's comfort that we can have too. I think especially if you have young children or nieces or nephews or cousins or whatever the case may be, is knowing that if you fully trust the Lord and you're trying to raise them up right, they may go through hard times,
yeah,
you know, but they will always come back. So I think that's beautiful.
yeah. Because I would not, you know, I was talking to my niece, one of my nephews, the other day, and he said, "You know what? I'm proud of you for turning your life around."
Hmm.
And like I told him, I said, "Whatever you do in life, please don't go down that road."
Hmm.
Because now the generation now, they really don't care about what's going on.
Hmm.
I mean, they putting stuff in candy and judge everything like that. They don't care about the next person.
Yeah.
Only thing they care about is itself.
Yeah. 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 Which is very self-destructive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah. Well, I'm sure you have some crazy stories to tell
yeah,
about Matthew, BC, right before Christ. Um, but yeah, it's just so amazing to hear your testimony and to see you doing so good.
yeah. Because not before, I just gonna be honest. I ain't before. I would do everything I could not to follow Christ, but I ain't
Yeah.
a follow Christ at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
to going to pick up him on the side of the road,
Mhm.
don't even know him, don't know
Mhm.
if they gonna kill me or what.
Yeah.
Just to, just to feel happy. And the whole time, I could be happy in God and still have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about anything bad happening, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And so now you're working, you're doing good, you're almost 5 years sober, and you're doing some prison ministry. I know you've gone into the prisons before, and you said you went yesterday,
yeah.
and
I'm
you
into
go
the
with,
gym.
and you go with an organization though, correct?
I go with the 180 touch with my touch.
Oh, your church. Okay. And so they have, is it the jail or prison
It
or both?
both.
Oh,
It both.
both. Okay. Okay.
I gotta wait for my ID to come out for the prison. I'm
Oh,
in one, but I gotta wait for that to come out where I could go back in there.
okay. I think that's so awesome. So what is that like to go in a prison? Like, are they like in a room together? Or like what's the setup like?
Okay, now when you go into the jail, they got a room where we can go in, and the inmate can come in there, and we throw them a video.
Mm-hmm.
After the video, we give a testimony of what God done in our lives. Then we talk to them, and they talk back to us. They give us input,
Mm-hmm.
and something like that. I
So,
go,
oh, I'm sorry, keep going.
I go in, and I just tell them, say, what got you here, and what you gonna do when you get out of here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stay clean, but stay sober. You know, you gotta have like I said that night, you gotta have a community that gonna love on you and be there with you no matter what happens.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's good. And I think that's the most important thing, right? Is the community. Because when you get out, you don't know anybody that's good, right? You only know people from your past life. And so I think that's really important. And so you go in and you talk to them and you share your testimony and everything. And
Yeah,
uh, I think that's very, very wonderful. So are these the people that are already involved, like in the church? Because don't they have like church in jail, right?
yeah. That what we do. We go in there and give them. We go in there and give them God. The people
Okay.
that in jail. We the people that go in. Now we probably got about 5 different testers that go in every different. Now from our church, the women go in on Monday night for the women, and the guy go
Mm,
in on Tuesday night. And on the fourth Sunday of every month, the last Sunday, the men and women we both go in at the
okay.
same time. The women go with the women, and we go to the men.
Mhm. Okay. So that's good. And so how many people, just right off, do you know has given their life to Christ because of you sharing your testimony?
Um, I would say probably about 19 or 20 that I that
Um,
that I talked to, and they come
yeah.
up to me and said they want to get enough to do the class, or something else, or it might be
Um,
more than that, but I'm thinking
wow.
about 20.
Wow. In just 5 years. And really
Yeah,
less than that because you haven't probably been doing that the whole time. So that's pretty amazing.
yeah,
Oh, Matthew.
yeah.
Oh, that makes me want to cheer up.
Because and not some of the women that go to our church, and they be not. You could be in there, and I easily, when you go back in, I do feel. When I first went back in, and when I other door shut, I jump.
I
I was so
bet.
nervous because I
I bet.
I would never thought I was gonna eat that town again. I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. But when I had it, I jumped, but I knew y'all were gonna come out of it too.
Yeah. But I'm sure though, for a second you had flashbacks.
Oh yeah, many
Yeah.
times.
So what was that? I mean, yeah, so you wanted to leave immediately. I mean, I had similar situations where it was like just automatic. I knew it wasn't the case, obviously, but just in the back of my mind, it was just a flashback. And I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, what? And then I had to like calm myself down, like, okay, this
yeah.
is not that scenario. Hmm.
Benjamin, Benjamin, they gotta pat you down and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, okay,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, oh. Well, is there anything that you would like to add or any word of encouragement or anything? If anybody does see this video that you would want to share?
I would say that you know In the verse in the Bible, John 15 said, "For God to know the world, He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believe in Him cannot perish but have everlasting life." 17 said, "For God didn't come to the world to the damn the world, but the world could be saved."
Yeah.
And if anybody out there and listen to that, I'll be not. If God can do it for me, God can do it for you. You
Yeah.
gotta be willing to give God a try and stop running away from what God called you to do.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And I think so much, like we talked about your story, it's just like the prodigal son. And if he can save you, if he can save me, if he can save people that are like us, people in the Bible, everybody in the Bible, but especially Paul, right? And Paul wrote most of the New Testament,
Yeah,
built up the churches. He can do anything. We just have to yield our lives to him,
yeah,
right? And surrender ourselves and say, okay, I am going to start living for you, Lord. Do what you want through me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, folks, move out of the way and let God do what He do.
Yeah.
I had one of my cousins told me and said if I get with, and they stuck with me for a while and they still stick with me now. And he said this, he said, if I be real with God, God gonna be real with me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm about to go, I've been real with God and now God open, I mean, I never thought I'd be doing it right here. And but God give me the opportunity to use me the way He want to use me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that, I think it's so amazing. And I've told you this before. What I also think is amazing too is you do have a speech impediment.
Yeah,
But to me, when you are talking about the Bible or sharing your testimony or singing a gospel song, again, I think it is God, right? I mean, I when you're doing either three of those things, I can clearly understand you. I can clearly hear you. And I think that's so amazing. I truly do think that God is speaking through you.
yeah. I get a lot of people that come up to me after I get my testimony, or
Hmm.
if I'm praying or whatever. They be like, I never did know you had a speaker impediment to after you said that, but you cannot
Hmm.
take testimony, or you can't think while you singing or whatever because you letting God flow through you. And I said, I just the weirdo, just do what God want me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could easily say, no, no, God, I'm not doing that because I have a speech impediment. I'm not doing that. Who was that in the Bible that he didn't speak well?
It was a donkey, you know,
A
and God,
donkey.
yeah, it was I forgot who it was in the Bible.
It wasn't a donkey. It wasn't a donkey.
It was
Anyway,
somebody, yeah, it was somebody in the Bible couldn't speak, and it said, if if you just open your mouth and I speak for you.
yeah, yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, so I think that's truly amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. I love your testimony. Again, it just God's grace
yeah,
and forgiveness and his promises, right?
yeah,
That he is always with us. So
yeah. Because I'm not I'm thinking if I didn't never come to Birmingham, I would never met you.
yeah. Hmm.
Never work at Vapor, I would never met you.
Yeah.
God knew what He doing at the right time.
Hmm. Yeah. Nothing is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. God ordains it all.
Oh yeah,
Right. Yeah.
oh yeah,
He's the beginning and the end and everything in between.
yep, yes it is.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you, Matthew. Thank
You
you for
welcome.
sharing your testimony, and I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.